All right, good morning. Thank you all for coming out today. My name's Ed Riskin. I'm the Director of Transportation here in our beautiful city. We have a beautiful day to talk about something important here, so I really appreciate you all coming out. And what we're here to talk about is safety. About a year and a half ago, the Board of Directors of the San Francisco Municipal Transportation Agency adopted a strategic plan identifying safety of the transportation system as the #1 goal for our agency over the 6 years of our strategic plan. And I imagine that will continue to be the goal of our agency beyond those 6 years. And safety of the transportation system is broad. It has to do with safety walking in the street, driving a bus, riding on the bus, driving your car, riding a bike. And I think the good news is that San Francisco generally is a safe city, and Muni generally is a safe transit agency. So we're starting from a good place, but there are some areas where there's still work to be done. And in the area of crime, while most types of crime are low and continue to decline on the transit system, there's a couple that are going in the wrong direction, and that's what we're going to be talking about here today. The other piece of good news is that we have a mayor who has been very focused on public safety. In the last city budget, made a pretty significant investment in public safety and staffing up our police department. He's also made a priority in forging partnerships between the city agencies, within the city family, ensuring that we're working together to achieve our mutual goals, and everybody has safety as a goal. So we have great partners with the police department, with the district attorney's office. The district attorney wanted to be here but was unable. But working together, marshaling our resources together to make Muni safer and to make the city safer. I do want to acknowledge the folks in uniform behind us, the SFMTA transit fare inspectors, the SFPD officers. We're all working together to make the system safer. But now, without further ado, I want to bring up the person who's been the biggest cheerleader for ensuring that our city is a safe one, our Mayor, Ed Lee.
Thank you. Thanks, Ed. Well, thank you, Ed, and thank you to you and the entire board, the MTA board, as well as the staff and everybody on the staff for working so hard these past years to improve the Muni service, as well as to identify all things that we need to do to work together on safety. And, you know, we're very fortunate in the city that our economy is strong, that we can look at the things that we want to do to continue that success. And we do want to have success for everybody in the city, and everybody in some way, including the kids when they were growing up in my family, all touched Muni in one way or the other. And so it's a major transit mode that we all want to support. And when it comes to safety, they're right in the thick of it, and they have to be a safe transit system for everyone. And so I want to just first of all thank all of the officers and the fare inspectors and the people working at the stations and the drivers and the entire safety complement that happens to work directly with Muni, as well as our police department that works in complement with them, not on only a day-to-day basis, but on huge events. Chief Sir has been there with his officers to support and supplement all the things that Muni needs to do. We've invested in the improvement of our public safety. This summer, as you heard, that Chief Sir and I and others in the technology world and SF City announced Justice Mobiles to allow our officers to save time, have more efficiencies by allowing them to use smartphones that were connected directly to the crime data that our State Attorney General has. So that was another improvement that I know we're all working on. It's already creating some good differences. We also invested in the Community Ambassador Program to get them trained. These are residents of people who live in the Tenderloin, South of Market, or Bayview, or Visitation Valley, and they're walking the streets on hours in which they can complement and be additional eyes and ears, working in tandem with our police department, having phones that are freely provided to them by AT&T, and using their eyes and ears and experience, not only in greeting passengers on and off Muni at different stops that we have had in the past some trouble with. Now, you look at the data around those areas and they've improved dramatically. So thank you to the Community Ambassadors Program. And overall, our city's crime data will show you that we're in the right direction. Homicides are down over 35%. Shootings are down between 15 and 20%. And we want to continue that direction as we get towards year end. Police chief and I are going over everything that we can to make sure this trend continues. And as shoppers continue to increase along the Market Street corridor and Union Square, we're going to be working really hard for everybody to have a safe experience, because I know we're going to be an attractive place for people to be, and we continue to be an attractive city. Part of the reason is because we know we're taking care of crime and making sure that downward trend is there. That doesn't mean everything is perfect. That also means that we still have some homicides and some shootings and robberies that occur. And we're looking at that data and linking it up with all the different agencies to improve it. And it just so happens that while we're working together, I want to thank Ed Riskin and MTA, the SFMTA, and their entire board for working with our police department to obtain a very valuable grant recently from Homeland Security, a grant of $1 million to focus on our transportation corridor. And so today was to announce a program, but we've already been working on this program in a kind of a experimental way to see what the results would be. And thanks to the MTA and to the police department working together, we compared the data. We began in the month of September, where we had over 51 robberies that had to do with on Muni and in and around the stations. And as a result of additional officers that focused on those Muni routes, the month of October, when we put them on there, that 51 robberies changed into 9 robberies on those Muni lines. Larceny, same thing. People stealing things, maybe not off a person, but that was totaled 80 larceny reports that were on the Muni lines in the month of September, and they were reduced to 26 larceny reports in the month of October when these additional officers were placed online. That is a very dramatic demonstration of the presence of officers, people all working together, getting this grant. And well, thank you. Thanks again. And so that's an important statistics, from 51 to 9 robberies, from 80 to 26 larceny reports in a matter of just 30 days with the additional presence of officers. I think we want to keep this going, and we wanted to announce another very important aspect of it, because it will not be simply the presence of more officers on the Muni. That's going to help dramatically, and it's helped already. But it also means that we want to do something about the number one area of theft and larceny, and something that DA Gascon has been talking about, our chief has been talking about, and that is, in this whole world, and we're all talking about technology these days, people have all of the technology devices that they need, and they're using them on Muni, and when they're walking on and off, people aren't paying attention to their surroundings. And so we wanted to educate the public, the people that actually use the technology, to be a little bit more assertive and careful about their surroundings. So we've launched a public awareness campaign thanks to MTA and the police department working together, and we want to announce the Looking Up and Phones Down, Eyes Up and Phones Down public awareness campaign that we're launching today. And this is an awareness campaign, an education campaign that's focused on our own ridership, so they can participate in helping us get to 0 crimes on Muni. I know that sounds almost impossible to do, but we need to have a goal like that in order to challenge everybody to pay attention. Because when you got your eyes up and your phones down, you're going to be aware of surroundings. You're going to see the ambassadors we have out there. You're going to be engaging in your surroundings. And we're going to have this done in a culturally competent way. You're going to see multicultural signage in all of the Muni stations. The fare inspectors will be reminding people about that. in culturally competent ways. You're going to have officers talking to people. Hey, can you get your eyes up and your phones down so that you can always be aware whenever you are riding Muni? That's going to help, I think, with this whole movement going on. And we think that we can get to zero crime on our Muni railways by doing a public awareness, getting in direct engagement of our ridership, working with our officers, working with our fare inspectors, working with all the Muni stations people around us, and working with the general public when they have an increased ridership that we will experience during all of these holidays and shopping areas. So this is my way of saying thank you, SFMTA. Thank you for your leadership, Ed, and entire board, but everybody on your team, the drivers and the inspectors included. Thanks to Chief Sir, all of the officers behind me, but all the officers working in every station day to day. They're doing their best. And I know they are because we're seeing the results of their presence in every corridor, whether it's Market Street or in the Bayview or in areas where we've had high crime rates before. Rates are all coming down because everybody is much more aware and we're helping each other be that much more safe. So congratulations, but let's start talking about eyes up and phones down. This is where we make a huge difference. And let's put that $1 million grant into a $10 million effect in our city. Thank you very much. Congratulations.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. I think you could hear just from the mayor's words his passion and depth of understanding and commitment to this issue and to improving the situation. We certainly share that passion and commitment at the SFMTA. I mentioned our number one goal is safety, making sure our transportation system is safe. Our number two goal is really implementing the city's Transit First policy that was established 40 years ago by the Board of Supervisors. And one of the key elements of Transit First is making transit an attractive option for people to take. And what we need to do in order to make Muni attractive, it has to be reliable, it has to be convenient, but it has to be safe. We don't want people making a calculus about how to get from point A to point B based on feelings that they can't be safe riding on Muni. So our goal of Transit First is very much supported by our goal of a safe transit system. And it was for that reason that our security director, Lee Militello, got together with our police commander that Chief Sir has assigned to us, Mikhail Ali, and worked together to put together this program to secure this grant that the mayor referenced. And then it was really Chief Sir and his officers who have stepped up that have been responsible for some of those numbers. Pretty tremendous immediate progress that the mayor talked about. So happy to bring up our city's great police chief, Greg Sir.
Thanks, Ed. I have to tell you, it's a pleasure to be a police chief in a city where public safety is the mayor's priority, a great partner in Ed Reskin, a district attorney that's a former police chief, a security director, Lee Militello at Muni, who's a former police commander, and everybody comes together. This program that was initiated through this grant that put additional police presence on buses, I don't know if those numbers grabbed you enough. It's an 80% decline from September to October over a 30-day period, and a better than 70% decline in theft over that same time. Those are not insignificant numbers. We can be better even still through awareness and education. That can really impact if we now engage with the community to help us out to make things even that much less available to be taken. 2 out of every 3 robberies in San Francisco involve some sort of a smartphone. If folks would merely heed the mayor's words and do eyes up, phone down, don't walk and text, don't make your phone available to be taken, they can't be taken. I can often be half-kiddingly quoted that, nobody's stealing books. If people would read a book while they're on Muni instead of looking at their electronic device, we could get our robberies down to nothing. Robberies would be down by double digits in San Francisco were it not for the alarming rate of cell phone theft. That's big. And again, education and awareness. Be smart. Don't make it available. You wouldn't walk down the street counting hundreds of dollars. That's what you're doing when you're not paying attention and you're engaged or engrossed in your cell phone. I want to take this opportunity as well to talk a little bit about as we head into the shopping season, because we can even be smarter there still. Property crime, again, upticking here in San Francisco as it is across the state. Please don't leave anything visible in your car. Don't leave your GPS or electronics readily available. We want your gifts to make it to who they're intended for, not to be in the hands of some opportunistic thief. Secure them in the trunk when you're walking around. Don't overload yourself carrying packages, certainly while you're looking at your cell phone, and make yourself just that almost comical target to be hit by some sort of an opportunistic thief. Just keep yourself safe, keep your belongings safe, keep San Francisco safe. And as long as I'm on the soapbox, I want to talk a little bit about another grant that the police department has won through the Office of Traffic Safety, through Regional Highway Traffic Safety Administration for drunk driving. Drunk and drug driving has resulted over in 750 deaths, 24,000 people or more injured, still the #1 killer on our roadways. So we've received over $200,000 in grants for education, awareness, DUI checkpoints, and the Avoid campaign with our other agencies that we're affiliated with here in the city. Please, designated drivers, be smart. Let's have a great holiday season. Everybody come to San Francisco and shop. But while you're doing it, pay attention to the price tags and not to your cell phones. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. I think there's a theme running through all of this, which is awareness, distraction on Muni, distraction while driving, whether from using your phone or through what you've consumed, doesn't make our city safe. So we want everybody to be aware. We want you to help us raise the profile of this. We will have enhanced police presence on Muni. We will have our fare inspectors handing out these cards. There's a screen cleaner for your electronic device that we don't want you to use, but we want to help you keep it clean. That's part of this package, just to try to better engage with folks. And the chief has inspired me to consider a new partnership. I'll be contacting the city librarian to kick off our Bring a Book on Muni campaign to dovetail with this. But want to thank you all for coming out today. You're helping to spread this message, really encouraging people to be aware, will help make us all safer. So thank you very much. Happy to take some questions.
So we like to think with the way of officers, it's sort of the loaves and fishes. There's more than there appear to be, and they'll be everywhere. We don't really say for purposes of our folks that would take advantage of where we're not. Citizens have already commented like crazy. The deployment by Director Militello and Commander Ali has been spectacular to achieve the numbers that we've had. So how about if I just say plenty of cops and they'll be everywhere? Well, the number of officers in the San Francisco Police Department remains the same, although as the Director Reskin mentioned, through the mayor's plan and the Board of Supervisors, our staffing is up. We have about 100 officers in the academy right now, but the officers additionally deployed to Muni are through the grant funding, so they're on an overtime basis.
Are the number of arrests for Muni up?
Numbers of arrests in the San Francisco Police Department are way up across the board. The number of arrests, I don't have it handy, but I can get it for you. No, but that's certainly worth mentioning. Dan references that with the homicide that occurred at State College, there were many people on the bus so engrossed in their cell phones that they didn't even notice the suspect pull the weapon out, a rather large firearm, 3 times. So this campaign is more in relation to just we want safe transit. We want people to use transit. We don't want people to lose their belongings. And inattention due to cell phone usage is a big part of this. Right. So David's question is, what about the secondary market in cell phones? It's just way too easy to move a stolen cell phone. So that's why I drew that analogy. You wouldn't walk down the street carrying cash. And I think in San Francisco, that in large part is due to this being the first time in my 30 plus years that we've actually made more robbery arrests than narcotic arrests, because people would prefer to traffic in cell phones than narcotics. It's just a more cash and carry secondary market item. So the question was, does the new Apple technology, the activation lock that actually makes the phones like a brick phone, contribute to that? It's probably too early to say because there's so many other cell phones out there. However, we would encourage any maker of any cell phone to enable bricking technology, because if it's not worth stealing, again, it all goes to robberies going down, makes the city safer.